I just bought some new prime lenses, these DZO VESPID primes, and today I want to talk about why I chose these DZO VESPID primes over other cinema lenses, and also why I talk about this. I want to show you some example footage that I got out of these, and mainly in combination with my SONY FX6. And I have a couple different topics that I want to talk about today, which is why cinema lenses at all, build quality, shooting experience, why VESPID primes, and also the look, the focal length, and last but not least, the investment side of things. So before I start talking about these topics, I just want to mention that this is not a sponsored video. DZO didn't send these out to me. I don't got any discount codes or something. I just bought them with my own money for my own production company, just me, freelance video stuff. And yeah, talk about why I think that these are a good investment for pretty much any freelance filmmaker out there. Alright, starting with the first topic, why cinema lenses at all. So the first point for me is the shooting experience, or the shooting workflow more specific, because these are fully manual. You don't have autofocus to use. And maybe some of you are scared of using only manual focus, and I can understand. I had the same doubts as well, which is why I only got the 35mm in the beginning to see whether this is something for me, and now I just decided to go with the 21 and the 75. This seems like I really prefer using manual focus, and I can highly recommend it to you as well to just go out and try manual focus as well, because there are just some specific shots that manual focus require. And whenever I was in a tricky situation with my photography glass, I have the Tamron 28-75 and the Tamron 17-28. I switched into manual focus when I knew something is going to be tricky, because I don't want the autofocus to mess up. And when I use manual focus, I know that I can control the situation. When somebody's walking through the frame, no worries about focus bumps. And focus bumps is really something that I don't want to get in my videos. So whenever I had a situation where I know it was tricky, I switched into manual focus. But with this photography glass, the manual focus is just not great. It is not good to work with. It is an inconsistent focus ring, and here you have a consistent focus ring with a 270-degree focus throw, I guess. So it is just way easier to use manual focus with these lenses. The next point about why cinema lenses at all is the look that you get out of these, because the bokeh is softer than with photography glass. You have T-stops instead of f-stops, and T-stops are basically a consistent measurement of how much light hits the sensor. Also, these lenses help you to achieve a more cinematic look, because they are a little bit softer and just take out the digital look out of your image. Also, something that you should consider as well is your appearance on the shoot. When you show up with these lenses, they definitely make you look better than your photography glass. The next point, build quality, is just amazing of this glass. I mean, look at them, they are just solid. They have a metal coating and just these hard stops on the focus gear and on the iris. It just feels super good. The glass is really beautiful, and I just think with the black and yellow it just looks really good. They feel solid. They are pretty lightweight, around 800 or 900 grams each. They are the perfect size in my opinion for indie filmmaker. I decided to use the PL mount, which looks like this, and there you need to use a PL mount adapter for your camera if you're not shooting on a Sony Venice or any other cinema camera with a PL mount. I got 2 of those. These are the DZO Film PL to E mount adapters. So this just goes on your camera, and then you can open your PL mount, take this out, pop on your lens, and secure it. Works really good. I'm really happy with the build quality of each component. They just feel super solid, super high quality, and yeah, overall, I just really like shooting with these lenses. And I personally am a person that loves camera gear, and I am obsessed with it. I love lenses, I love cameras, and yeah, just the combination is, I don't know, there's just something about it that I really like. And when I take a look at my camera rig, I just want to go out and shoot something. I want to create something beautiful. And when your rig does this with you, this is as perfect as it needs to be. And for me, it was a big change when I got these DZO VESPID Primes, because these are equipment pieces that just excites me. I just want to, yeah, as I mentioned, create something and pick up my camera and go out. But not to forget about the overall workflow with these lenses. So as I mentioned earlier in the first point, why cinema lenses at all, just using manual focus with these is completely different, and I really like the workflow. And every time I'm out with my friends shooting passion projects, everybody of them just loves shooting with them. And basically so far, today is like Friday, so far I only got the 35mm on any passion projects, because I just got these 2 days ago, and I'm really excited for this Sunday, which is like 1 day before you see this video. I'm going to shoot another passion project, or basically it's a client work project with my friends, and we're going to use these VESPID Primes on my FX3 and on the FX6 of my friend Adrian. And yeah, I hope that I can already show you some behind the scenes and also some of the frames that we were able to get. And then the big question, why should you go with the DZO VESPID Primes? I personally think these are just the perfect cine lenses for any freelance filmmaker, for any indie filmmaker, because these are budget cinema lenses. And yes, I know this is maybe not something that you would consider cheap or budget, but these costs like around 1,500, 1,700 euros per lens. And these are quite budget friendly if you take a look at other cinema lenses. But on the other side, when you take a look on other budget cinema lenses that cost around 1,000 euros, maybe something around 800 euros, you just don't get that quality out of this budget as you get with the DZOs, because all of them are consistent over the whole set. They look absolutely great. They don't have chromatic aberration, at least not too bad that you can see it like it would distract you when you take a look at the example videos. All of them got a T2.1 except the 90mm macro. It got a T2.8, but not that big of a deal for me. All of them have like the same focus gear and iris gear, so you can easily switch between lenses and use your same follow focus, and it's just an overall really easy and great workflow. Focus breathing is almost zero. I need to test the 21 and the 75, but I'm probably going to show you some tests right now. I believe that also the 21 and the 75 work really good with focus breathing. And I do think that this is a big plus point for the DZO VESPID Primes. What I also really like about the DZO VESPID Primes is the flaring, because it is really controlled. It is not too crazy, it is not too creative in general. They are not too much character, so that I can use them on commercial sets as well as on my passion projects. And if you want to go with like some crazy vintage soft lenses that have a lot of character, these are probably not what you want to go for, because I would consider them pretty clean, to be honest. They are slightly softer than photography glass, which I really like and prefer. They have a great fall off in the out of focus areas. Yeah, and the bokeh is just really soft, and because of the 16 blades iris, I believe it's 16 blades, the bokeh is just great. Like if you have some lights in your background, the light is just going to be a really nice big round bokeh ball, which is really great. So to sum it up, I just think that these are the best budget cinema lenses that you can get right now. The next thing I want to talk about are focal lengths, why I decided to go with these focal lengths. And the first one I got was the 35mm. It's my favorite focal length. I think it's just perfect for any kind of video. And yeah, you can do pretty much everything with this. I share a video, or I put up a link over here from Mochi Wilson. He just shot a full video, a full commercial on the FX6 with a Tokina Vista Prime at 35mm. It is such a beautiful story that he's telling, and I think that he just used it in a really, really good way, was really creative with like the framing. So I think if you only can get one lens, 35mm is what you should go for, in my opinion. Yeah, after some time of using the 35mm, I really wanted to get something wider and something closer. So 21 and 75 is what I decided to go for. I already rented the 21 and the 50 for a short documentary that I shot. And I really, really liked the 21mm. And I personally thought that the 50mm was just not such a big difference to the 35. I almost always used the crop factor of the FX3, the 1.5 crop factor, which made it to a 75mm lens. Like, not really, it is just a digital zoom, but I just wanted to get a little bit closer. So yeah, this is why I decided to go with the 75mm. I think the compression of 75 is really, really great, and I'm looking forward to test this out as the second angle of an interview, for example, and also just in general get some more detailed shots with 75mm. And as I mentioned before, 35 is like the perfect match for any situation. I can see myself with the 90mm macro, but I'm not too sure about that because I like macro shots, especially for some commercials. But for an upcoming commercial, I will rent the Laowa 25mm macro lens, I guess it is, or 24, I don't know exactly. This is like a completely different look. You can get really crazy with this lens, and I'm not sure if I want to get like the 90mm macro or the Laowa macro lens, or maybe both. But anyways, this is also another point why you should go with the Vespid primes. It just popped up in my head. The range of focal lengths that you can choose of is insane. Like, they cover so many different focal lengths, and all of them are consistent over the set. So yeah, just pick your favorite and be happy with it. And then last but not least, investment. I think these really are an investment for you as a filmmaker, because you can just put them on your invoices when you are on client work projects. So after a time of using them, they are paying for themselves, and then you are actually making money with them because you can just rent them out for productions. So I think no doubts about that. These can make you some good money. And when you think about it like this, if you invest in, let's say, Cooke S5 lenses, I'm not really sure how much each lens costs. I put it up on the screen. But if you invest in these Cooke lenses, you really want to force your clients to go with these lenses so that they rent them out of your equipment arsenal so that you can make your money back. But sometimes these lenses are just not the perfect fit for the job. So I think that you need to consider this as well. These are great if you are on productions where you don't have the budget to rent bigger cinema lenses. You can just say, hey, I got these lenses, they work great. This is what you can get out of them. I can rent them to you for price X. But also when you are doing some passion projects, which I highly recommend you to do, you can just use your own cinema glasses. You don't have to rent some. And this just makes you so much better as a filmmaker because you learn how to use your gear, and whenever you are on set, you know how to utilize what you have because you are already an expert with your own equipment, and you learned a lot while using this equipment for your passion projects. Another big plus point for the DZO VESPID primes is that they cover VistaVision. They have a 46.5mm image circle, which is great and covers most of the sensors. But there are actually some things that you need to consider when you want to invest in cine lenses. If that is something that you are interested in, let me know down below in the comments, and also make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel because this would support me a lot. And if you did it, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.